wanted to open with something just a little bit different, but actually it's a little more interactive type of commencement address. You're gonna see I've got a few more canvases, a few more brushes, so I just wanted to see by a quick show of hands, who here can draw? All right, a couple of you. Actually, don't feel bad. I asked that question of every audience that I perform for. HR, IT, educators, graduates, and I will rarely, if you've never get even one brave soul, it's gonna raise their hand and say that they can, in fact, draw. But if I were to go down to your high school, so whatever high school you graduated from, theoretically, and went there this afternoon, so and we're talking students ages 13 to 17, I were to ask them who can draw, statistically, I'm gonna get between almost 10 to 12% of those students are gonna say that they can, in fact, draw. But if I were to go down to your preschools, any preschool, anywhere in the entire country, and I would say, hey, kids, who here can draw? What's the response that I'm gonna get? Yeah. 100% of the time, these kids, oftentimes even our own children, are practically bursting at the seams, just dying to share with me their creative energy. At what age then do you think that creative river that once did, flow so freely and effortlessly through each and every one of us, at what age do you think it started to kind of dry up? Yeah, early young. Pablo Picasso said, every child is an artist. The challenge is how to ultimately remain an artist once we grow up. How do we harness that beginner's mind and plug it back into your launching now and your upcoming career to be able to harness intellectual curiosity? And so, what is the connection between imagination and education? Albert Einstein said, imagination is even more important than knowledge, but maybe it begs the question, what is the connection between art and business? Maybe even further, what is the purpose of art? And not rhetorically or metaphorically, but actually, personally, what is the purpose of art? Because I would suggest that the purpose of art is actually not to produce a finished product. Rather, the purpose of art is to produce thinking. Dynamic thinking, game-changing thinking, the kind of thinking that wakes up our mind, shakes up our brain cells to be able to unlock that intellectual curiosity. So at its core, art evokes thought. And as we move increasingly towards an artificially intelligent society, where anything that can be automated will become automated. And that gets to be kind of a heavy thought, almost an existential crisis. Artificial intelligence is continuing to disrupt, distort, and in some cases even permanently dehumanize our perception of reality. In certain circles, in the tech world right now, the biggest questions moving around, are we going to harness and leverage and regulate AI? Or is AI gonna embrace us and obsolete us as humans? Again, kind of an existential challenge, but we can't solve problems from a place of fear. We can't solve them from a place of despair. We have to solve them from a place of hope, from a place of faith, and from a place of love. And that's why I would say the single greatest opportunity for growth going forward, maybe even the number one most important meta skill that should be taught in every single school across the entire country at every grade, in every classroom starting yesterday, is mental agility, mental flexibility. That ability to be adaptive and fluid and non-dualistic in our thinking, to be able to move into the future. Intellectual curiosity ignites that growth mindset. That growth mindset is how we overcome adversity. And we know that growth and comfort cannot coexist. Creativity is really nothing more than seeing logically what the rest of the world around us physically sees with our eyes. But thinking what no one has ever thought before. I think that is the use of creativity going forward against an artificially intelligent marketplace, to see what those around you see, but to have the courage, like Albert Einstein did, to twist that landscape and ultimately unthink like no one has ever thought before. And that's your permission to do more, dare more, dream more, and be more. Congratulations on your graduation, guys. Have a great, great time tonight. Cheers, guys.